After I lost my best friend and my son, that was the lowest point of my life, and I was like, my life is horrible, nothing has gone good in life, it's over. I checked out. I was angry. I was like, if God is real, I hate him, I don't like him. I was so angry, I didn't want anything to do with him. Hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm currently an academic coach at Capella University, but I'm in school to be a special education teacher. So I didn't grow up in church. No one really told me about God, and for most of my life, I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe he existed. My life, it started out pretty normal until my parents got divorced. When they got divorced, I lived with my mom for about a year, and then my dad got custody. And life was, for the most part, good with my dad. For 4 years, I lived with him, and I was a daddy's girl. One summer, my mom got custody of us, and I never saw or spoke to my dad again. This left me heartbroken and confused because I was a daddy's girl, and it caused a lot of trauma that I had to deal with in the coming years of life. I didn't grow up in a stable environment. I grew up surrounded by addiction, instability, and just being miserable. At the time, I didn't know that that wasn't normal, but now I do. And it was something that I really struggled with. In first grade, when my dad first got custody of me before my mom got us back, I didn't know how to read. I had a teacher, her name was Miss Anderson, and she used her own time to teach me how to read and had me reading on a 3rd grade level after just 4 months. She's the biggest reason that I'm in school to be a teacher today. When my mom got custody back of us in 4th grade, I struggled with making friends, and I was bullied a lot, and I just didn't really understand how to go through life. I was on a lot of medication for depression, I was in therapy, but the medication just made things worse. So we go through the years, and I don't really remember a lot of it's been suppressed, and it's just kind of like an empty childhood until 7th grade. In 7th grade, I started going to church on Wednesday nights, not because I believed in God, but because I didn't want to be at home. So I would go for the singing and I would go for the games, but as soon as the message started, I would leave. I didn't believe in God. I was like, if God's real, why is my life so hard? So I just left. That same church paid for me to go to summer camp every single year. In 7th grade, my brother came up to me and he's like, I want you to believe in God. I want you to get saved. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I don't believe in God. And he was like, just think about it. And so the night before camp ended, I felt this power over me that I now know was God, but it was telling me to just listen. And so I did. I went to my brother and I told him I wanted to get saved. And he said to me, it was 2 Corinthians 6:1 and 6:2, which basically says, like, don't take God's grace in vain. Like, when he calls you, listen, because it could be the day of salvation. And that stuck with me for a really long time. So we got baptized together at the exact same time. And then I left camp and I started living like a non-believer again. Even though I was surrounded by believers, I was like, this doesn't make sense. God's not real. If he did, why does he hate me? And I just really struggled. So I moved out when I was in high school on my own, and I experienced my first sexual assault, and that really damaged me in a way that it took a long time to recover from. And I got married really young, straight out of high school, not because I was in love, but for survival and for stability. And that marriage was emotionally abusive, and it left me doubting myself more, and eventually it ended. So I went through the motions of life again, still hating God, because I was like, either I hate him or he's not real. That was the only option that I had. And I got into another relationship that was pretty toxic, but I ended up pregnant. So I decided I was going to stay in that relationship because I didn't want to raise my son in a broken home like I grew up in. And when I was pregnant, I was supposed to go to my friend's house for Cinco de Mayo, and something in me told me not to go. And so I was like, I'm not going. And that night that I didn't go, my best friend's house was robbed and they were murdered. I know now that that was God and me telling me not to be there. That could have been me as well. But a month later, I lost my son. This made me spiral. I kind of went like really insane. I tried to take my life, and after that failed attempt, I got the help that I needed. I got into therapy, got proper medication, and really found someone I was comfortable sharing things with until my insurance stopped covering them. And then I met my now husband. He got me back into church and just tried to get me to believe in God, though I didn't really believe. I just went to go through the motions because that was what he believed in. And everything was going, for lack of better terms, like good, until I found out I had something called a pseudotumor in my brain and it needed surgery. And this was about 3 months before we were to get married. And so Nick was moving to Mississippi for a job, and I was going to stay here. But when I found out I had the pseudotumor, I decided to go with him, and we moved to Mississippi together, which was supposed to help us and like be a good job for our family, but it ended up leaving me in a worse mental state. I felt alone. I felt like I had nobody and lost, and I suffered my second miscarriage. So I felt like I didn't deserve to be a mom. Our marriage continued to get worse, and we kind of just went through the motions until we moved back. And then things were okay for a little while, and then we argued constantly, so we tried marriage therapy. Marriage therapy didn't really work. The marriage therapist blamed my husband for everything, and I know that it was not just him, so we quit that and we started living like we were roommates. And that was it. We weren't spouses in like our eyes anymore. We were just going through the motions of being roommates, and we decided we needed to do something, so we tried church one last time, and that's the church that we currently go to now. The first day we went, the message was like talking to everything that we were going through, but I still was hesitant and didn't want to believe. My husband, Nick, rededicated that same day and apologized, crying to me about everything bad he had done in our marriage. And I looked him in the face and I said, I'm not saying that prayer. I don't believe. And he was like, okay. 2 months later, I said that prayer. And at 28, I found God for good, and my life has been better ever since. It's not perfect. There's still a lot of like negative things. I'm on medication for depression, things that I haven't healed from my entire life, but it's a lot better than it ever has been. And I'm excited, and I know that with God, it'll continue to get better. He saved my marriage. After prayer, he healed my body. I was supposed to have surgery to have my fallopian tubes removed, and the pastor, Jason, prayed over me the day before my surgery, and when I went in for my surgery, there was nothing wrong with my fallopian tubes for them to remove them. And I'm involved in kids worship, in youth, and just a lot of things in the church that I never thought I'd be involved in, and I found like my place and my gift of teaching, and I really just enjoy life now. I don't wake up every day wishing I don't exist. I wake up excited to see what God has in store for me. And I know now that God was with me all along, even when I didn't believe in him.